go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm awesome as always because we're talking football, baby, and we're doing starts it week number 6. Got to get those dubs, man. It is a pressure cooker at this point. So many injuries, so many players that we got to dissect and discuss. Because, I mean, these dubs are going to be huge coming down the wire here as we are entering to week number 6. Let's pay some bills before we get started, man. Check out our friends at Optimus Fantasy. This site has more data, more tools to help you get more wins, man. Use promo code COVER1 when you sign up, and you'll get 70% off your first month of Gold Jacket access. Gold Jacket now ensures that you have access to all their tools throughout the 2025 season. Optimus is also working on a betting optimizer and DFS lineup generator. You can find them at optimusfantasy.com. And if you guys do not know, you guys got to get to know Cover One Pass. Sign up to be a member today. Exclusive member opens door to the entire Cover One community. Exclusive member access, content breakdowns, in-depth analysis. Man, these guys do an unbelievable job on their film breakdowns. I'm telling y'all, even if you're not a Bills fan, you guys will learn so much about the game. I'm telling y'all, it helps me every time I watch these dudes. It also adds to Discord channels, including the fantasy football content, Fantasy Football channel with yours truly. I'm definitely in there all the time with y'all. Don't forget about the swag and potentially the Fantasy Football guide, all wrapped into one with the Cover One Pass. Sign up today at cover1.net. You guys will not regret it. Believe me, it is absolutely glorious. But let's talk about bye week troubles. Minnesota Vikings, Houston Texans, only 2 teams on the bye week this week, so it's not too daunting, but we still got to replace all the injuries, and now these 2 teams on the bye week. It is not great. You guys know the drill. Rapid fire, every team, every player. Let's go. It is the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Kyler Murray is dealing with that foot ailment. I don't know. It's one of the weirder injuries because we didn't see him really take much. He took a couple snaps off and finished the game last week, and now he's a true questionable. They said Jacoby Brissett has been taking some more snaps in practice as well, so this is something to definitely monitor. Mid-level risk versus the Indianapolis Colts. If he was healthy, I'd put him as a low-level risk because it is a decent matchup on that back end, but I mean, injury risk definitely is here. Hedge, bet, and get a backup plan just in case Kyler does sit. Demercado and Michael Carter, they were actually really good this past week. Even saw some Bam Knight in the mix. If it wasn't for Demercado and him dropping that football on the goal line, his day would have looked so much nicer. That was a 70-yard run that he squandered on that touchdown. Michael Carter looked good as well. This will continue to be a split backfield without question, man. I do believe at mid-level risk for Demercado, where good upside on the mid-level is to a Michael Carter. Colts do, they have a decent defense, but I mean, these guys, the way they played last week, but if Kyler does sit, could put a wrinkle in those plans as well with Jacoby Brissett, but I do like the play of a Carter this week, more so than Demercado, but we can play both them, especially if we are hampered with running back injuries. Marvin Harrison Jr., low-level risk, fire him up. If it is Jacoby, we know he can sling the football, and this would be good upside for a Marvin Harrison Jr. I like the play of him this week. Michael Wilson, do not touch, will not do it. Greg Dortch, he was dealing with an ailment of his own. He is good to go. PPR floor on the red, but we'll see. I think in deeper leagues, 16-team leagues, you could probably flirt with a play. And then Trey McBride, low-level risk. We want to see a little bit more out of Trey right now. It's weird how they're going away from all the good weapons on Arizona. I just don't get it. We still got to plug and play a Trey every single week. Atlanta Falcons take on the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football. It is a doubleheader Monday this week as well. So much football, and we got a over-the-pond game as well. But Michael Penix Jr. and these Falcons coming off the bye week, taking on the Buffalo Bills, who lost last week. Mid-level risk for a Penix. He got Drake London back in the mix last week, which was nice to see. Got him his first boom game. The Bills should be able to at least do something against this offense. I do, worry about the Bijan Robinson effect for the Bills. Michael Penix should have a decent game. I mean, if you're looking for streaming quarterbacks, you could do worse than Penix, but I would actually look in other directions overall because I think the Bills should be able to play pretty sound defense. Bijan, he could carve up this Bills run defense, no question. On the outside, they seem to struggle quite a bit on runs going to the outside. Obviously, Bijan, low-level risk, fire him up. Likewise with Tyler Algier. Mid-level risk for me. I do like the play, man. I really do. Flex option, or if you have injured running backs all over the place, you're looking for someone to plug and play. I do like the play of Algier this week. Touchdown upside is definitely here on the mid-level risk. You can play him, and there is risk that he could get a goose egg, but the way that they're kind of, mix and matching these carries and touches to help Penix be more comfortable, I do like the play of Algier. Likewise, with Drake London, mid-level risk, should have a decent enough game. Maybe for him, he gets a touchdown against this Bills secondary that is really good. And, the injuries piling up on the Bills as well. But I do like Drake London this week. Where Darnell Mooney, full Mooney's got injury risk right now, a hamstring. He is questionable. He may sit out of this contest, which would give a lot of target share to a Drake London. Ray McLeod, he's been non-existent so far this season. And Kyle Pitts, if a Mooney does sit, his mid-level risk would go up to good upside in the green versus my Buffalo Bills. Baltimore Ravens taking on the LA Rams. Man, if you look at this injury list, it is worse than a takeout menu. I'm telling y'all, it's just littered with players that are not suiting up in this contest. Cooper Rush, high-level risk, you're not touching that. Where Derrick King Henry, it's a big problem for a lot of y'all. I get it, man. How can you trust it? But how can you not play it? Because King Henry can absolutely still be the guy that can run the football. But, the Raiders and how they play ball, that they can, their front seven is good enough to at least stymie everything to come his way. But I do like the play of Derrick Henry. Volume floor is good still. Safe floors, but they got to feed this man the rock. It's got to be strictly all Derrick Henry and short dump-off checkdowns for Cooper Rush. That's how you at least compete in this contest. We still got to play a King Henry this week. Justice Hill, low upside on the red. Deeper leagues only for me, 14 and 16 team leagues. Zay Flowers, mid-level risk. He had a decent floor last week, but until Cooper Rush actually figures out how to play in this offense, it's going to downgrade everybody until further notice. I would look for better options than a Zay this week, but if you don't have them, flex or wide receiver 3 is kind of where we're going. Rashad Bateman, high-level risk, not touching. We're D-Hop. He's got TD dependencies still continuing in the red. We got to look for better options in this offense because Cooper Rush cannot support it all. Mark Andrews drops down to a mid-level risk for me. I don't like it either. He should be the safety blanket for a rush, but we didn't see much of it last week, and I don't foresee it coming where this, like I said, Jared Verse and company in these Rams, they're going to come after Cooper Rush with the bum rush, pun intended, and it is definitely not good. Isaiah Likely, injury risk still continues for me. He's not, he's off the injury report. Obviously, the foot is good, but I don't like the play this week either until further notice. Buffalo Bills taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said on Monday Night Football, Josh Allen, these Bills got to get back to basics, y'all. I get it. It is everybody eats. It is, ground and pound to set up everything else in this offense. I want to see a little bit more, coming from a Joe Brady at this point. Open up the doors a little bit more where Josh Allen can, but it was tough. Not a lot of guys were separating last week as well. So Josh missed a couple throws as well, but I'm telling y'all, it is one of these situations where a get-right game or a loss like that will help them improve because the complacency was definitely there. Playing at home 5 out of 6 games was not good, man. So, or 4 out of 5 games, I should say. This is only their second road trip of the season. Josh Allen, low-level risk, should be absolutely stellar on Monday Night Football. If he's not, I will be absolutely shocked, no question. James Cook on the bounce back in the green. Was not a good contest for him last week. First miss on the boom. This week, he's got a, huge upside against the Falcons defense, like I said, that can come after the passer with their great edge rushers, but James got to set the tone, set the tempo, and I do like the bounce back in the green. Ray Davis, obviously non-existent ghost at this point. Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir. What are we doing with these gentlemen this week? Mid-level risk for Keon, where Khalil Shakir, TD upside in the green. Well, they're going to come after the quarterback. There's got to be a lot of good options over the middle for Josh Allen to find. I do like Khalil Shakir and the potential touchdown once again this week, where Keon Coleman, mid-level risk. He's got to get a little. I didn't like the fact that the coaches benched him because they wanted more out of him, kind of like a disciplinary for not doing what they need. Don't like that, man. Obviously, they're not happy and satisfied with the way he's progressing overall. I do like Khalil Shakir this week, or Josh Palmer, sleeper of the week for me in the mid-level risk. It is high risk, high reward, but there is potential here where Josh Palmer needs to be more involved in this offense to at least, mid-range, 20 yards down the field, at least get, the pressure off of a Josh Allen, a deeper league play. And if you want to risk the biscuit, it is sleeper appeal with high risk, high reward. Elijah Moore, boomer bust, not touching. Where Dalton Kincaid is dealing with a oblique injury, should be good to go. No worse for wear, low level risk. He's been very consistent in this Bills offense. Carolina Panthers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Bryce Young and company. Okay, they looked a lot better because Rico Dotto was carrying them on their back last week. And, I mean, if they could get the run game going, the play-action pass will open up, and this will be good news for guys like Ted McMillan. I'm okay with the play of Bryce this week because the Cowboys' defense can't stop a cold. But, I mean, temper the expectations on how high the upside is going to be. 22 points, maybe that's your highest, ceiling for a Bryce Young this week. But they should run the rock quite a bit with Rico Dotto, a revenge game on the green. I love the play, man. If you were like me and you listen, I said go pick him up. 2 weeks ago, we were able to plug and play him this past week, and he went off over 200 yards. Will I see 200 once again this week? No, probably not, but at least he's going to have a massive chip on his shoulder in the revenge game. We can play Rico everywhere. We got him because Chuba is out with a calf injury. Trevor Etienne, his day has not come yet because Rico is running so well. High-level risk, not touching it. Where Ted McMillan's given us a very safe floor. We can play him on the low-level risk once again this week, especially versus Cowboys defense. This could be the coming-out party we're looking for a Ted McMillan. I really hope it is because this kid's far too talented to not get at least 10 targets every single week. Xavier Legette, mid-level risk for me, caught a very nice touchdown pass last week. And, I mean, they're asking about his parents. That was pretty sad, man. His parents have been gone for quite some time, and they were Cowboys fans. His dad was. So, I mean, maybe he wants to play a little harder this week as well. Xavier Legette is one of these dudes. So much talent, loaded with ability, just has not come to fruition yet. Mid-level risk, 14-team leagues. I don't dislike the play. Hunter Renfrow, third and Renfrow, because of the fact of Jalen Coker. The Cokehead is coming back. He might get pushed down these ranks as well. They're just still not saying if he's going to play this week. He is a true game-time decision on the IR return. So Hunter Renfrow still not touching it. Where Tommy Tremble, TD dependencies because of Jatavion Sanders, still have the questionable with an ankle. If Sanders does suit up in this contest, I do like Sanders this week on the mid-level, where Tommy Tremble, far too risky for me with touchdown dependencies. Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders on Monday Night Football, second of the doubleheader. Caleb Williams, they're coming off the bye week, and Caleb's been great when it comes to fantasy football. We talk about his play on the field overall. There is a lot of still uneven play and technical issues, but as a fantasy producer, he's doing the business. 3 boom games, 84 points. We can trust Caleb versus the commies, who can, give up some big plays through the air as well. I do like what I see from Ben Johnson. Week off, get some more reps in. You got to understand, I do like Caleb a lot in fantasy football on the field right now. I still want to see a lot more. DeAndre Swift, good upside in the green for me. We can play him this week. I do like the play, obviously, with the fact that we have so many running back issues. It's good upside in the green. I think he has a decent day, decent to good day. Hopefully he gets more volume to uplift all of his points, but a good to decent day for a DeAndre Swift. The other running back, Kyle Manungai, I believe his name is. I always mess up this kid's name. High-level risk for me not touching it. Ben Johnson still has not recreated the Monty and Gibby show in Chicago, so Manungai is not going to be one of these guys I'm looking for in fantasy. Where DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, triple header wide receivers, so damn good. Rome Odunze gets a low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere we got him. 4 boom games in 4 games this year. Kid is absolutely killing it. Where DJ Moore's kind of taking a little bit of a back seat. His floor is getting a little bit more soft. You almost want to see a trade out of Chicago to uplift his fantasy stock. Mid-level risk. We could play him versus the Washington Commanders, but I'm not expecting the world. Rome Odunze should still continue off the bye week to be the guy that we know. Luther Burden, unless he gets more targets, then he can showcase what he is. I'm a huge Luther Burden fan. He is my guy. You guys know this from the offseason. Absolutely love this game. Smitten PPR floor. His floor is desperately low, but he is, like I said, the redundancy to DJ Moore. So get rid of Moore, and you can replace him with Luther Burden, and you guys are going to understand why I say this in Chicago. Cole Kmet, Colston Loveland, high-level risk, not touching it, where Loveland's still dealing with that hip issue. He may not even suit up in this contest, where Kmet is just far too volatile for me to trust. Cincinnati Bengals, they got and traded for Joe Flacco. Old man Flacco making his rounds around the league, still at over 40 years old. Low floor for they're saying he's going to play this week over a Browning. What does that suggest about Browning? Not good news, man. If a guy coming off another team doesn't even know the playbook yet and he's going to be starting against the Green Bay Packers, it's just a lot to say about Jake Browning in his game. Low floor on the mid-level risk. I'm not expecting a great deal out of Joe Flacco this week, especially with how good the Packers defense is. Last 2 weeks, Packers have not played great, but I mean, they should get a get-right game versus the Cincinnati Bengals this week. The positives, Joe Flacco can at least uplift a lot of players in this offense. Chase Brown is somewhat back to life, man. Hopefully they can start, running the football as well. If they fear the pass, no more stacked boxes for Chase. Get him more involved in the pass game as well. Don't understand what these Bengals and Zach Taylor are doing. It might be time for Zach Taylor to be finding new work because he's not doing the business that's required here in Cincinnati. Mid-level risk, I don't dislike the play of Chase. There should be more check down options with a Joe Flacco. Jamar Chase dealing with an illness. I don't foresee him missing this contest because he's sick. They're going to hook him up with some IVs and clear that out of his system. Good upside in the green with a Joe Flacco who could still get it down the field. This should be a lot better than a Browning at least, where we saw last week. What did I say last week about Jamar? I said it's so hard to bench our studs. We got to play our studs regardless. Live and die with your studs because they can do it on their own. Jamar Chase definitely did that on his own last week and repaid us with over 20-point spot, which was absolutely helpful for so many of us. And T. Higgins, if Jamar does sit, obviously mid-level would go up to a low-level target upside, but mid-level risk for me. We'll see how this offense does roll in week one with Joe Flacco. Week one of Joe Flacco, I should say, in Cincinnati. But T. Higgins, now his value does increase with a Flacco on this team. Andrei Iosivas, high-level risk, even though he had a boom last week. He's a good secondary third wide receiver on this team. It's just not enough targets to go around. At this point, he's just one of these guys. It is matchup play if you're stuck, but, I mean, you're going to be getting a goose egg or you're going to be getting 12 points. Like, that is the yo-yo pendulum swing that we do get. And Mike Gesicki, high-level risk, we're not touching that like we haven't all season long. Cleveland Brownies moving ahead without a Joe Flacco. Now is Dylan Gabriel coming off of the London showing. He looked good, man. I mean, as a rookie, what did I say? There's no tape on the man. They don't understand how to attack him fully, and it is a rookie. He's a good player. There's no question. A lot of people that didn't like his game coming out of college. I mean, you don't throw 18,000 yards in college football with multiple teams if you don't have skills. That's exactly what Dylan Gabriel did in his time in college football. But, I mean, coming back home from London, long travel, and then second week, now there's tape on the man, and they got to go up against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense that's coming off the bye. I do not like what I see. Low upside on the red. If Gabriel impresses, then great, I'll eat my words, but I'd rather have him on the waiver wire or my bench at this point because Steelers will still come after him with a lot of different looks, and they're still very good at confusing rookies. This is a big test for Dylan Gabriel. Like I said, I'm a fan. I always have been. I don't know what's with these Samoans from Hawaii that are left-handed quarterbacks, but I mean, he's making it work at this point. But Qushon Judkins, I love this kid. He's so damn good, and legitimately, he ranks right up there with some of the best running backs to come out of this draft class in Genty, in Hampton, in Trevion. He is right there neck and neck with all of them. He's playing his lights out right now. 2 boom games on the season, almost 60 points after missing the first couple contests due to that off-field issues. Low-level risk. Fire up Q Judkins everywhere we got him. Dylan Sampson taking a massive backseat like all the other running backs because Judkins has been running so damn good, not looking in that direction. Jerry Jeudy, low upside on the mid-level risk. I do not like the play until otherwise stated and noted. Don't like it. I won't do it, man. The floor is way too low, and he is crippling us big time. If you got him on your bench, keep him there. He's almost at the point right now until we see otherwise. He's going to become a waiver wire player for me very, very soon. Low upside, mid-level. I'm not playing it this week. Where Isaiah Bond, PBR floor in the red. Don't like it, but the tight ends is where it is, man. What I always preach out, man. Young quarterbacks, they need the safety blankets and check downs. David Njoku and Harold Fannin Jr., only Fannins. I mean, mid-level risk for Njoku, TD upside, mid-level for Fannin. These guys are what's going to drive this offense. You put both them on the offense at the same time, gives you the 12-man personnel, allows Judkins to run the football extremely well, and then gives you play-action pass to your tight ends all freaking day long. This is music to the ears of a young quarterback to get him all the protection he requires. I do like the play of both Njoku and Fannin this week because they might get some decent target share at least. If I had to pick one right now, I'm going to say Njoku over Fannin, but Fannin does have the TD upside in this respect this week. Dallas Cowboys taking on the Carolina Panthers, Dak Prescott and company. Dak is playing lights out at the moment. You got to love what you see, especially that contest versus Packers. Last week they looked great as well, and it should continue versus a weaker Carolina Panthers team. I mean, we saw I believe it was last year they visited Carolina too, if not 2 years ago, and Dak really struggled. I don't foresee that happening this week. Low-level risk for a Dak Prescott because the run game has been rejuvenated in Dallas. Man, this is why the league is changing. Everyone wants to believe it's still a passing league. It is not just a passing league anymore. We're back to balance over straight up passing, and the stats totally show that over the last 4 years. Passing upside has gone down in waves and drones, but everything is predicated upon the run game. Javonte Williams, Vontae, my dude, he's been running and killing it all day, all season long. Almost 100 points, 4 boom games. Fire him up everywhere he got him. Fire up Dak everywhere he got him. They are just humming along. Bad news for the Cowboys. Miles Sanders dealing with a knee and ankle. He is out for the season, y'all. Placed on season-ending injured reserve on Friday. Definitely bad news, but good news for my dude, Jaden Blue, the blueprint baby. Hopefully he can get some more touches. Only got, 0.7 points last week? I was like, come on, man. He suits up in the contest. You can't even give him some sprinkles of touches? Like, give me a break. I understand Vontae's playing lights out, and they do view Vontae as a true workhorse back, but Jaden Blue definitely needs to get some carries and touches, at least touches in the screen game. Let's just see what he can do with the ball in his hands. I'm telling y'all, you guys will be like, who the hell is this guy? I've been warning you for so long. Jaden Blue's definitely my guy. High-level risk. We're obviously not playing it until we can see some more volume to come to his direction. George Pickens, Georgie, low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him. Alpha wide receiver, no question. He's going to do the business. Still, once again, 4 boom, 7 points. He's been killing it this season, even without a CeeDee Lamb. Jalen Tolbert, it almost feel like he's the new Michael Gallup on this team, where they're looking for everyone else but a Tolbert. Low upside in the red, not touching it. Where Ryan Flournoy, love the play of Flournoy again this week. If you got issues on the flex option, mid-level risk for me, there is good upside. Is he going to get another 15 spot like he did last week? Probably not, but at least the upside is there for target share, as everyone's going to Pickens and Tolbert's side, leaving Flournoy wide open, and he is a good route runner to boot, no question. Jake Ferguson, low-level risk. He's another one killing it this season as well. 4 booms, almost 70 points. Fire him up everywhere you got him. Denver Broncos taking on the New York Jets across the pond in London. Jets are 0-5. Broncos looking good, beating those Philadelphia Eagles last week. Bo Nix, Bo knows, baby. Low-level risk. Fire him up versus a Jets team that is definitely not the same as they used to be, especially on the defensive side. We all knew the offense wasn't good. Almost basically we could say it sucked, but at least the defense was, elite top end, man. They were a top 5 unit. Now they are just not good at all. Like, everything is not working for the Jets defense. Fire up Bo everywhere he got him. He should be able to continue this on the, international stage. J.K. Dobbins, y'all, told y'all this offseason. Soon as they signed him to these Denver Broncos, everyone's still pushing the R.J. Harvey train. I told y'all they were going to use the man, and he's repaying them handsomely. 70 points, nearly 5 boom games for this running back. 5 out of 5 for J.K. Dobbins. This guy's automatic at this point against the Jets. He should be able to get number 6. I am starting J.K. everywhere we got him, but R.J. Harvey's looking nice as well. Nothing to sneeze at with his play so far. And I think as we continue, week 8, week 9, his role will only continue to increase. This run game looks good in Denver, and they are utilizing it properly. Sean Payton knows what he's doing. Mid-level risk, running back 3 to a flex option for me for Harvey this week as well. Cortland Sutton, fire him up on the good upside. He is a favorite target of a Bo Nix. He's very consistent. We play him every single week at this point. Marvin Mims continues for me on the high-level risk. It's just too volatile for me, where Troy Franklin, it's been far too long since his boom game. It's time. You got to unleash the man, make this defense, spread out quite a bit. Mid-level risk. At least the, floor has been decent. 6 to about 9 points. Not great. We want to see up to 15. And I think a TD shot's got to be coming to Franklin this week. It's just been far too long, and Sean Payton's got to utilize all of his wide receivers to keep him happy. Mid-level risk. There is some risk, but I do like a Franklin this week, where Evan Ingram finally found pay dirt last week. 21 points on the season, low floor, mid-level risk. So many mouths to feed on this team, and only one ball to go around. It is very difficult to make everybody happy. Detroit Lions take on the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Huge game for the Chiefs. Lions look to continue to roll 4-1. Jared Goff, low-level risk. This KC defense is not what they used to be. I'm telling y'all, they played so much football. They are getting older, and it's just not the same unit, man. That secondary can be beat, can be gashed, and even if you take this team to the outside on the run, you can beat them. It is there. I'm telling y'all, up the middle, they're still very strong, but Jahmyr Gibbs, Gibby, low-level risk. Jared Goff, low-level risk. We can play these guys this week. We're Gibby 5 boom games as well. He's absolutely killing it. David Montgomery, Monty, I got him downgraded just a little bit on the TD floor because they do utilize him up the middle, but he more so than anything else. At least he scored a touchdown pass last week, which was awesome. We can still play Monty this week. Just a mid-level TD floor. I still like the play, but the upside should go to Jahmyr Gibbs as they look to spread it out on the outside. Amon-Ra St. Brown, low-level risk. Fire him up. Obviously, everyone got him. He is challenging to be one of the best wide receivers in this league this year. Him and Puka absolutely are automatic. Anytime the ball's thrown in the direction, they are making the play, where J-Mo has taken a big step back. Definitely not to be expected. I thought his role was going to increase, not decrease. Boomer bust now on the mid-level risk. There is always the, hope of TD upside, and they might try a shot, but it's so inconsistent. How can you trust it at this point? We got to keep him on the bench until we understand his role continues to grow. J-Mo, boomer bust, mid-level risk. Isaac Tesla not touching it, where Sam Laporta finally got back in the goods last week. Mid-level risk versus Kansas City Chiefs. I do like the play of a Sam Laporta as well. Green Bay Packers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals coming off the bye week. Jordan Love, feeling the love for love. Low-level risk, fire him up off the bye. He's all nice and healthy and rested, taking on the Bengals, who are, looking really bad at this point. So, the defense, we got to give them credit. They look a lot better than they did last year. But I think the way that this Packers team is built, they're getting Christian Watson back eventually. He's out there running in practice as well. There's going to be so much speed on this offense. Jordan Love's not going to even know where to throw the football. Low-level risk, fire up Jordan Love everywhere he got him. Josh Jacobs coming off the bye week. This is good news. He was dealing with some ailments. He should be fresh and good. Low-level risk. We're obviously playing him everywhere we got him. Matthew Golden, mid-level risk for me. I do like the play of Golden this week versus the Bengals. You got to get this man integrated properly. It's no different than a Christian Watson. Stop just utilizing him deep. Get him over the middle. Get the ball in his hands. Let him use that speed and cook. I don't understand what you're doing, LaFleur. Get him the football in bunches. I do like Golden this week as well, where Romeo coming off a huge contest before he went on the bye week as well. Mid-level risk. 2 boom games for Romeo. I do like the play of him as well this week. Him and Golden should be very nice versus the Bengals, as they should be able to spread them out. We're Dontavian Wicks not touching in. Tucker Kraft, low-level risk. Fire him up. He's got TD upside out the wazoo this week. Could be one of the best tight ends of the week, no question. Indianapolis Colts taking on the Arizona Cardinals. Daniel Jones, Daniel Pennies. I love this offense and how they could potentially be with Daniel Jones, man. They kind of pulled it back a little bit, and they're utilizing the ground game a lot, which I absolutely love, because force feed Jonathan Taylor, I'm all for it. I got so many shares of this man. He is carrying a lot of my teams at this point, but Daniel Jones, no slouch, man. 4 boom games out of 5 right now, almost 100 points. We can play him this week. There is very safe floor with good upside in the green. Absolutely love the play of DJ Daniel Jones, Daniel Pennies this week. Jonathan Taylor, low-level risk, obviously 5 boom games. He is the stellar one. You could almost put a stud start on this one as well. He should be able to gallop free versus this Cardinals team, man. Josh Downs, we're always down for Downs. Good upside on the mid-level risk. So close to hitting that boom game last week. But the positives, we did see them utilize him more in target share, which is good news for Josh Downs. Now we got Alec Pierce back. A.D. Mitchell still in the doghouse with the coaches after, not doing his job on the field. I do like Josh Downs in the flex play once again this week. Floor should be around 7 to 9, where hopefully the ceiling with a touchdown could give us 15. Touchdown is something that I'm really, really hoping for. I don't know if it's going to come for Downs this week, but at least a target share increase. Let's hope that continues once again this week. Michael Pittman, fire him up everywhere he got him. Low-level risk. He's been the most consistent one and has got the best chemistry with Daniel Jones at this point. Where Alec Pierce, boomer bust in the red, coming off that concussion. And Tyler Warren, low-level risk, 4 boom games. Man, God, I wish I had more shares of this man as well. This Colts offense does look good and is producing on the weekly for us in fantasy football. Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Trevor Lawrence, sunshine. Okay, well, man, I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one that thought when he fell down on that snap, how the hell is nobody getting him? It was like the entire play went in slow motion. He tripped on himself twice, still got up and ran in for the go-ahead touchdown. I don't know. Okay, Trevor Lawrence, good game last week, and they are building something. 4-1, but it's not a convincing 4-1 for me. There is beatable options here. Taking on the Seahawks, it's going to be a tough contest. Another very stout defense, but the Hawks do have a lot of injuries on that back back end. Low-level risk for Trevor Lawrence. I do like where they're going. The progression does seem to be moving in the right direction. We can play a Sunshine this week. Trevor Etienne, he bounced back week for him. Low-level risk. Fire him up as they should utilize him a lot more than they did versus those Kansas City Chiefs. Low floor for a Bashal Tutin. His role's got, curtailed back quite handsomely at this point. Not good for fantasy football because Travis Etienne is running the football extremely well. Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, both mid-level risks for me. At least we saw as that game wore on, Trevor Lawrence dropped a nice dime and Brian Thomas caught it. You got to get this guy on the same page. But I was watching him last week, and he was struggling to get open, man. There was not a lot of separation for this man, so maybe that's part of it as well. It doesn't help when Trevor Lawrence overshoots him, undershoots him, but he's having a very difficult time getting open at this point. And then on top of that, you're putting all those drops that he had early on. So it's a, mix of poison in his game right now. He's got to get out of his own head, stop thinking so hard, mid-level risk. I don't dislike the play this week, just due in part to all the injuries the Seahawks have. Where Travis Hunter, when are we going to get this breakout game, y'all? Mid-level risk, he's so damn talented. It's no different than a Matthew Golden. Just get the ball in his hands, man. This defensive play, this was the biggest worry I had coming into our fantasy drafts with a Travis Hunter. How much would they play him on the defense? How much would they rest him, as they're concerned that, too many snaps will cause injury? And we're seeing it. They're pulling back his snap share quite a bit so that they can play him on both sides of the ball. Mid-level risk for me. I don't like the play of a Travis Hunter this week either. I put him on the mid-level because a breakout eventually has to come, and I do believe he could find his first touchdown this week. Dyami Brown, high-level risk. Don't like it. Where Hunter Long is the replacement for a Bretton Strange. He's gone for injured reserve with that quad injury. Hunter Long is a decent sleeper play on the mid-level risk at tight end. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Detroit Lions. Patrick Mahomes. You guys are at risk of going 2-4, and I'm all for it, baby. Keep the losing going against these Detroit Lions. Mahomes, low-level risk. He's been carrying this club so far, both in the pass and the run game. It's been very good for Mahomes. You can feel for the guy in a sense, where you can tell a superstar is struggling because he's not getting the full range of support he requires. Do I feel bad for him? No, because I'm a Bills fan. But I'm telling you can see we're like, holy crap, he really is, putting the cape on every week and trying his best. We could play a Mahomes this week because to win this game, he's going to get into a shootout with these Detroit Lions. No question, Mahomes could have a very strong day. Where Isaiah Pacheco, low floor, mid-level risk. I do not like the play like I had on boom and bust. I do believe he's busting this week. The only thing saving his day would be a touchdown. I just don't like how he's running so far in versus Hutch and company. It's going to be a tough day running through the middle of that line, where Kareem Hunt is the better play at the running back spot. Mid-level risk for me. There is upside in both the pass and the run game, where Pacheco just, he's been dropping passes in the PPR game, which has been, making him have to be switched with a Kareem Hunt. I like the play of Hunt over Pacheco if we are picking a running back from this team this week. Where Hollywood Brown, PPR floor, mid-level risk. Don't like it as much this week, but they got to utilize him more, man. Spread the football around. Spread this defense out a little bit more. Utilize your speed properly. We can play him in the flex if we have to. We're Juju, low floor, not touching it. Xavier Worthy is back from his injury. No injury designation this week. Low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him. We're Tyquan Thornton. Boomer bust. I took him off my board for a little bit, and because it is the redundancy to an Xavier Worthy, but obviously, with the target share even decreased for a Thornton, they're giving him the shots and he's making plays. So there is boomer bust appeal here on the mid-level, where he's going to get 3 to 4 targets at most, maximum, but one of those could go for a long touchdown. So it is pick your poison on a Thornton, but I do like on mid-level boomer bust. Where Travis Kelce, I'm going to call low-level risk. They're going to have to go back to the well and bring vintage, old-school Kelce in this contest. All hands on deck for these Chiefs as they cannot go 2-4. Los Angeles Chargers taking the Miami Dolphins. Herbie, oh man, this team went from being, the cream of the crop in the NFL to ascension, now to decline in the biggest of ways. Injuries again are crippling this team. Offensive line issues. Joe Alt again out for this contest. We see Herbie running for his life. I'm still going to give him a low-level risk. It is the Miami Dolphins, and he should be able to at least dissect this defense that is really piss poor and do give up a lot of points. 4 boom games for Herbie. He should have at at least a good day to a great day. I'm not going to say stellar, but it should have a very good, sound day, man. No more Marion Hampton. He's on the injured reserve. Good Lord. All these injuries. So we got Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal. TD upside on the mid-level for Haskins. He should get the priority volume share plus goal line opportunity, where a Vidal will get more of the PPR game and change of pace running. In my opinion, we saw Greg Roman, offensive coordinator, suggest that they're both going to be the bell cows. That's not how this works, man. So he's just trying to play coy. But I do think it is going to be Haskins first, but they will ride the hot hand. If Haskins struggles, they're going to give Vidal the shot. So that's kind of what he was intimating when he was suggesting that. I still do like the upside on the TDs for Hassan Haskins this week over somebody like Kamani Vidal. Ladd McConkey, he's a good lad. Not so much this year, but at least he got us a boom game last week. Almost 40 points on the board. QJ is dealing with a hamstring injury, so that's definitely something to watch. If QJ does sit, Ladd would jump up to a low-level risk for me this week. I do like the potential there as well if QJ does sit. So it is Ladd on the mid-level with QJ, Ladd low-level risk if QJ does sit this week. Injury risk on the low level, man. QJ would carve up this Miami Dolphins secondary if he does suit up. He's an easy plug-and-play for me this week. Likewise with Keenan Allen, low-level risk, fire him up. He's busted the past 2 games. It's a get-right game for him versus Miami Dolphins and these LA Chargers. Herbert should have a good day force-feeding his wide receivers. We're Oronde Gadsden, not touching it, high-level risk. There are much better consistent tight ends that we can play this week. Los Angeles Rams taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Matthew Stafford, low-level risk. I love this Ravens team, or this Raiders team. This Rams team, there's too many R's in that right there, but I'm telling y'all, taking on the Ravens in Baltimore, this game would have been like, uh-oh, this is not good, but with all the injuries they do have on the Ravens side, Matthew Stafford, he jumps up to a low-level risk. This team is moving in the right direction. They're playing good football. They just got to get, that killer instinct back. I do like Matthew Stafford this week. Low-level risk, fire him up. Where Kyren Williams is that dude. This is why I ranked him so high in my draft guide before the NFL season began. Low-level risk, fire up Kyren. Whenever we got him, he should be able to gallop free on a defense that can't stop a cold either. Where Puka Nacua, low-level risk, he's the best wide receiver in fantasy football right now. We can say he's top 3 in all the NFL. Basically, at this point, fire him up if we got him. Likewise with Devontae Adams, even though he is basically acting as the coverage puller for Puka, and that's why Puka's numbers are so damn high this year. I love the fact that Coach McVay is still giving Adams the targets he requires to get his boom games as the game does wear on. It's a good marriage, man, between Nacua, Adams, and Stafford. I do like the play. We can play all these guys this week. We're injury designation for a Tutu Atwell. We were not playing him anyway. Likewise with a Tyler Higbee. Just not near enough targets because those other guys are just balling. Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Tennessee Titans. Geno, baby, you are throwing worse interceptions than New York Giants Daniel Jones, Daniel Penny style. I'm telling y'all, Geno, what is going on with you, man? You are playing terrible football right now, and this Tennessee Titans defense is not a slouch. They're not great overall, but they can compete with the best of them, and they will, push this Raiders team to the brink, and they will push Geno as we saw last week. Hey, they got lucky with that one touchdown. Sometimes you just got to get a lucky play to change the culture and reverse what you're doing. Tennessee got that last week, and they're both 1-4 teams struggling overall. This could be the best game that we see from the Tennessee Titans versus these Raiders, and I do like the defense against Geno. I'm not touching Geno this week. We're Ashton Jeanty. Everything is going to be contingent on how he runs the football. What's actually peculiar is that Jeanty's running better and Geno's playing worse. It should be the reverse, where Geno was playing better and Jeanty wasn't running well. What the hell is going on in Vegas right now? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you because that's the most peculiar thing I've ever seen in my life. Typically, if your running game is going, the pass game is working. So, Geno, get out of your own head too, man. Jeanty, fire him up on the low-level risk. He's looking good with all the volume he is getting. Jacoby Meyers continues on the mid-level for me. If you got better options, take them because his floor is not necessarily safe at all. 5 to 8 points. Basically on the weekly, there are no touchdowns to speak of for a Jacoby. Don't like it. Where Trey Tucker, good upside on the mid-level risk. I do like it better than a Jacoby Meyers overall. Where Dante Thornton, afterthought at this point, high-level risk. Where Michael Mayer is replacing a Brock Bowers. Bowers is out once again this week with a knee injury. This is why I don't draft tight ends early, man. It cripples your entire roster. Even though Bowers is the elite of elite tight ends, I do not draft my tight ends early. And this this is a big reason why we can play a mayor this week if you are struggling for a tight end spot. Miami Dolphins taking on the LA Chargers. Fish, Tua's, interviews and press conferences, they get more interesting by the week. He's like, yeah, if I play football, good or bad, I still get to go home to my kids. It's true, you do, but it's about football, dude. I don't understand. Tua Tagovailoa, mid-level risk versus Chargers defense that is, injured as well, but they're going to test him a lot. Timing is the biggest thing with a Tua. If they get the timing out, he will start throwing interceptions. We're Devin off the A-Chain. 5 boom games, low-level risk. Fire him up. This man just finds the end zone. What was it, 27 TDs in 33 games so far in his career? That's absolutely absurd, man. Fire up Devin off the A-Chain everywhere you got him. Ollie Gordon, volume floor in the red. Don't like it. You just want to see more touches come to this guy's side. At this point, we just can't play it. Maybe in the second half of the season, we'll see his role increase a little bit. We're Jalen Waddle time. No more Tyreek Hill. He showed he can be relied upon even like it was before Tyreek Hill came to Miami. Waddle's a great wide receiver. Just the injuries are starting to pile up on the man. We could fire him up this week. If you caught my trade video, keeper trade video, you absolutely start shopping a Jalen Waddle, because if he does get injured, you lose all that value, where right now his value is skyrocketed and you could go get yourself some good running backs in return. Malik Washington continues to disappoint. I thought he was going to be the guy that they were looking for as a secondary wide receiver. Is not happening until further notice. We will not even look in your direction, sir. We're Nick Westbrook-Akine. Afterthought as well. High-level risk for me were Darren Waller and Jalen Waddle, along with an Achane. Are your plays low-level risk for all three of these gentlemen? Fire them up everywhere you got them. New England Patriots. Boo! Patriots. What do you got no business beating my team on Sunday Night Football in Buffalo? What the hell is going on? But this is what I was worried about. I told y'all, man, Drake May is my dude. You guys know I was pushing him up. He was my top quarterback coming out of his draft class, even above a Jaden Daniels. And now you see why, man. The receipts are down there. In my scouting report on Drake May, go and look what I had to say. I'm telling y'all, low-level risk. This kid is absolutely dynamic. He's stellar. It was just everything is predicated for quarterbacks when it comes to arm strength that you can't coach, and footwork. If his footwork and arm strength are there, you got double checks for me, and I'm now watching every other part of your game. Drake May, low-level risk. Even though he did not hit a boom last week versus the Bills, he had some pretty incredible throws taking on the New Orleans Saints. Very good matchup for him. He should have a very sound day as well. Ramondre Stevenson, TD upside in the green. We're Trevion Henderson. I'm waiting, Coach McDaniels. I'm waiting for you to get your head out your culo and give this guy some more carries. Like, what is your problem? We're all sitting here patiently waiting. It's week 6, and we're still yet to see a full onslaught of a Trevion Henderson. That's on you, man. And now everyone's going to question, Trevion's not that good. This is on Coach McDaniels. He just not giving him the ball. Ramondre can fumble the football apparently 15 times in a game, and he's still going to give him goal line carries. This is kind of the ridiculousness that I see. He's treating Trevion like he's James White at this point. Don't make me fly to New England, man. I will have to say something to you, but nevertheless, I'm always venting on certain things, but it is the Patriots. We can play Dre this week. He's got TD upside in the green. We're Trevion mid-level risk. I'm waiting for the boom game at this point. If you got better options than Trevion, you got to take him, because the coaching is definitely putting him on the backside right now, mid-level risk, and hoping for a boom game for him. Stefon Diggs, we can Diggs it, man. Low-level risk. Fire him up after that. I was wrong, okay? You know me, I'll admit every time I'm wrong. I thought, he was going to have a good game, not a great game. He absolutely lit up the Buffalo Bills. I'm always for revenge games. Do you see? And I went against my own better judgment, because this was like the ultimate revenge game for Stefon Diggs. Sunday Night Football in Buffalo in front of everybody. I should have known better. That's on me. If you didn't start Diggs because of me, I do apologize. This week we're going to fix that. Low-level risk. They found something. Diggs looks healthy. That knee is no worse for wear. Drake made a Diggs. That's your new number one tandem in New England. It does look good. We're Pop Douglas. Demario Douglas, high-level risk. He's been an afterthought all season long. We're Kayshon Boutte. You like booty? Here's some Boutte. He's not doing much either, man. Low floor for him. We're Hunter Henry. Low-level risk. He should be good versus these New Orleans Saints this week and get back to basics. New Orleans Saints taking on those New England Patriots, like I'm saying. Spencer Rattler's better than advertised. Told y'all, man. You saw that pass he did to Shaheed? Right on the money, and Shaheed took it to the house. Low floor this week, though. The Patriots defense is a good one, man. That front line, we saw what they were able to do to Josh Allen. That front seven is good, and they will come after him Mike Vrabel style. Spencer Rattler is improving every single contest, but low floor this week. We still cannot trust you in fantasy football. Alvin Kamara dealing dealing with an ankle issue. Haven't seen anybody suggest that he is in danger of missing this contest. We can play him obviously this week, but I got him on a mid-level risk. Likewise with a Kendre Miller, mid-level risk. If that ankle is an issue, they might be sprinkling Kendre Miller a little bit more as a split backfield this week, so definitely stay on tap for that on Saturday. I will update y'all in the comments on Alvin Kamara as I do here, but I'm telling y'all this could be a legit split backfield this week between the two of them. Chris Olave, CO2, my guy, very safe floor. 8 points is basically what he's given us, but the upside definitely is not there. So if you got better options, take them. If you're not and you're okay with a flex play of 8 points, Chris Olave is definitely your guy this season. Where Rashid Shaheed, boom upside in the green, man, this guy can make a house call at any given moment. This is the boomer bust appeal you're looking for. Not a lot of targets, but there is so much damn upside because he can run away from everybody at the tip of a hat. Where Taysom Hill made his return, everyone was worried about Taysom. I was not. He's got to get his feet back wet under himself, playing football once again. He looked good. He looked no worse for wear, but this will expand his role as well. I won't be shocked if we do see a little bit more quarterback play from him also, but I mean, low floor on the high level risk, not playing him this week. Maybe next week we will talk about Taysom being a player, but not this week as well. We're a Juwan Johnson mid-level risk. Just with Taysom Hill coming back on the field, Juwan gets a haircut. Man, it's unbelievable how these guys coach these teams. These guys are so productive, and then you bring back Taysom Hill and you try so desperately to make him part of the offense. It comes at the expense of a player like Juwan. You guys kill me and you frustrate me. Kellen Moore, I got no answers for you, man. Mid-level risk downgrade for Juwan. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully he gets a decent day. I'm looking in other directions for my tight end than Juwan this week. New York Jets taking on the Denver Broncos in London. Justin Fields, garbage time in the green. He's been very good. Yes, I understand the Broncos defense is stellar, but I'm banking all on garbage time productivity for Justin Fields this week. You're going to have to bite your fingernails off through 4 quarters in the hopes that the Denver Broncos light up this scoreboard. That way Justin Fields can get you some garbage time productivity. It's not going to be a good day if it is a close game, man. Maybe 12, 10 points for a Justin Fields, but if we're going to get some good garbage time, we could see up to 22 points for a Justin Fields. Breece Hall, volume upside in the green. There's no other backs that they're giving the ball to at this point now. Braylon Allen, like I said, gone for injured reserve. Isaiah Davis didn't take really any carries away from Breece Hall. Volume upside in the green. I still am playing him versus a very stout Denver defense. Likewise with Garrett Wilson, he's been far too good to bench. I know a lot of y'all are suggesting PS2, Patrick Surtain versus a Garrett Wilson. I mean, Garrett Wilson is basically quarterback proof, and he can make the business happen. He's that damn good. Low-level risk, fire him up everywhere you got him. Josh Reynolds, Arian Smith, because Allen Lazard is dealing with a personal issue. He is not playing in this contest. Don't like it, will not play it this week. Likewise with Mason Taylor, mid-level risk. Garbage time's the only thing saving him in this contest. I don't like Mason Taylor this week. Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Brownies. Aaron Rodgers, mid-level risk, coming off the bye week in their trip to Europe, and I believe it was Ireland they were playing in. We can play in Aaron Rodgers this week. Yes, the Browns defense is good, so don't expect a whole heck of a lot. He's a streaming quarterback for, issues that you may have. I'm not expecting a great deal, 15 points potentially, but if he does, get Jaylen Warren back involved in this offense, coming off the bye week, I expect them to be much better than what they have been, and the Browns will see what they do coming from London, so they might be a little bit gassed. I do like Aaron Rodgers this week on the mid-level risk. Jaylen Warren is back in the mix, mid-level risk, and he's going to be competing for touches with a Kenneth Gainwell, who had a monster show across the pond. I do like Warren over Gainwell this week now that Warren is back, but I do believe that we're going to see a good mix and match with both Gainwell and Warren. DK Metcalf, mid-level risk, fire him up everywhere we got him because he is the primary target in this offense, should be able to give us a good floor as well. We're Roman Wilson, Pat Freiermuth the Muth, absolutely non-existent. We got Calvin Austin on the injury report. He is out of this contest, shoulder issue. I am not playing Roman Wilson until he shows me something. Pat Freiermuth, the coach hates you, man. Ask for a trade. Get the hell out of there. But Jonnu Smith, he gets low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him, as he could be the secondary wide receiver, if not the leading targeted wide receiver tight end in this contest for the Pittsburgh Steelers. San Francisco 49ers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This should be an interesting show. Both teams are 4-1. No Brock Purdy. He's not feeling very Purdy. Mac Money Jones, baby, he's playing. I don't even know how. He should be full body cast after the punishment he took last week. Low-level risk, fire him up. This should be another shootout. Mac looks good with the Shanny offense. I was never a Mac doubter. I was never a Mac, uplifter, but I was very appreciative of his game. You go back to his Bama days, this guy threw 40-plus touchdowns, man. He's got some skills, and he's going to be able to feed some of these guys. CMC, obviously, we're playing no worse for wear. 5 boom games, 104 points. Everyone worried about that now? I mean, in retrospect, I told y'all it was something to be concerned about, but everyone was going way too crazy on the drop on CMC, but I get it. Injury history, it's definitely warranted. B-Rob, he's afterthought until CMC, something happens to him. Where Juwan Jennings is dealing with still that ankle and shoulder. He's on the questionable. Where Kendrick Bourne coming off a career day. What a game he had. I mean, Ricky Pearsall's out of this contest, so that does uplift a Kendrick Bourne. If Jennings also sits in this contest, Kendrick Bourne gets through the roof, rocket, upside at this point. Where I got injury risk on the mid-level for Juwan, mid-level risk for Kendrick Bourne. If Jennings sits, that goes up to low-level risk, and we play him anyway. Kendrick Bourne, everywhere we got him. Where Jake Tunges, this might be the last week we can utilize the man, where George Kittle will be returning from injured reserve very, very soon. I do like the play of a Jake Tunges. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, Sam Darnold and company. It's going to be a test, man. This Jags defense is good and improving. Devin Lloyd, he was also one of my dudes. Absolutely loved his game at Utah with the Utes, and he's actually showing exactly the elite level linebacker play that we knew he could be. Sam Darnold, he's playing absolutely beautiful football. The Seattle Seahawks offense looks good. You can fire up a Sam Darnold. I got a mid-level risk because I do like the Jags defense, but the way this offense is put together, we can play a Sam Darnold this week. Likewise with K9, low-level risk, fire him up, even though Zach Charbonnet stole a TD from him last week. This should be a lot of running upside for a K9 this week, where Charbonnet could again be that vulture because he is a bigger back on the goal line. I do like K9 over Zach Charbonnet this week. Jack Smith, Jigba, JSN. Fire him up everywhere he got him, man. He is Mr. Automatic. You got to love what we see from him. 5 boom games and not even 100 points. This kid is killing it, man. I'm telling you, 20 yards down the field, JSN. 15 yards down the field, JSN. He just catches everything to come his way. Love his game. Cooper Kupp, on the other hand, I don't know what's going down. PPR floor mid-level. Pick one of these guys at least to be the secondary guy. Give it to Torrey Horton then, but I understand what they're doing. Like I told you, nickel and dime down the field, mix and match. Be that multi-dimensional run-first team. Cooper Kupp, safe floor, mid-level risk, PPR floor, 6 to 8 points, where Torrey Horton is that boomer bust. He only gets about 3-4 targets a game. He needs to score touchdowns to be relevant. He should not necessarily get one this week, so I got boom and bust on the mid-level. Very tough to trust Horton or Kupp in this offense. A.J. Barner, on the other hand, he's taken all of these wide receiver touches, and he's becoming a very big focal point for a Sam Darnold. I do like the play continued of a Barner. He's been very consistent overall over the first 5 games of the season. He should continue with a Sam Darnold. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the 49ers. Bake Show. Injuries continue to pile up, and it doesn't seem to phase this MVP in the running in a Baker Mayfield. Who thought we would have said that when he was in Cleveland? He's playing so damn good, and I don't think I can find anybody who does not like a Baker Mayfield at this point. 5 boom games, low-level risk. Fire him up, man. This Mr. Automatic in 2-minute drill. He is just ice cold. Rachaad White, what I tell y'all, Bucky goes down. Rachaad was the play, and it continues. Low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere he got him. Rashawn Tucker, volume floor, mid-level risk. I thought we would see a little bit more. We might see some more because of the big workload that Rachaad White took last week, but it still is White over Tucker, and Tucker only in 14, 16-team leagues. Maybe. That's what you're definitely flirting with, that volume floor, and that's going to be ugly for you if he does put up another goose egg this week. Emeka Egbuka, he is a superstar in the making. The Ohio State Buckeyes. I loved this wide receiver core. Shout out to Brian Hartline. This is all his talent, man, from Ohio State. He's made these guys be who they can be, and they are now taking it to the next level. Emeka Egbuka, low-level risk. We're obviously playing him everywhere we got him. We're a good upside play on the mid-level now without Chris Godwin. No Mike Evans. Bucky sitting in this contest. Sterling Shepard, former teammate in college football of a Baker Mayfield. Good upside on the mid-level. I do like the play of a Shepard, where Tez Johnson, mid-level risk, sleeper play for me. If you guys are in deep leagues and you're struggling, Tez Johnson is one of these guys. Former Oregon Duck. He is a good one as well. Little bite-sized dude. dude, but he's got wheels and skills for days. A big-time sleeper mid-level risk for me. We're K-Dot, and I'm going back to the well and hoping for the best. TD Floor on the mid-level risk. We saw I was 1 week too early. I said play him 2 weeks ago. He does nothing, and then I say don't play him, and he gets 10 points. So at least he got into the volume upside. There is TD Floor mid-level risk versus the 49ers. Tennessee Titans taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Cam Ward and company, they looked better as a team. Still not great overall offensively. Man, I was so angry with Calvin Ridley. I even said, drop him. He's droppable. I don't care anymore. This offense stinks. Even Cam Ward was like, we're ass. And then, okay, they give him the freaking boom game. First boom game of the season last week. Calvin Ridley back in the goods. Mid-level risk. I don't fully expect a massive show from Cam Ward, but if he needed a get-right game in the biggest of ways, this is the week to do it, Cam. So mid-level risk for Cam. Still not playing it. Just want to see some more upside. Low-level risk for Tony Pollard. Fire him up everywhere we got him. First time we see Tony on the low-level risk from me this week, or this season, I should say. Tajay Spears, mid-level risk. His volume should increase. Wanted to see him on the field last week. They only gave him sprinkles. This week, he should get at least 20% more carries than he did last week, which is positive. Still not good enough for fantasy football play. Where Calvin Ridley, PPR floor, mid-level risk. I'm not trusting it. I don't care. I'm sticking to my words. I said drop him last week into the waiver. I'm not playing him this week either. We're Tyler Lockett afterthought for basically the entire season. Where A.O. Maynor, mid-level risk, 35 points. I do like Ridley over A.O. Maynor this week, but still, it's not saying a whole heck of a lot. But if the Tennessee Titans can't get right versus Raiders, there's definitely something wrong. We're Chig Okonkwo, low upside. I am not touching it this week as well. Washington Commanders, the Commies, taking on the Chicago Bears on the doubleheader Monday Night Football. Jaden Daniels, he comes back from his injury. No worse for wear, low-level risk. Fire him up. Caleb Williams versus a Jaden Daniels rookie class duo. But it's going to be a good show, man, on Monday Night Football. Love me some JD this week. There's no way you're going to see JD try to get Caleb to show up in his house. No way, man. JCM, you know what it is? I can't call him Bill. I will not call him Bill. Low-level risk. Fire him up. He looked good last week. Just got to continuously give this man the touches. He's going to repay us. Where Jeremy McNichols, where Chris Rodriguez is dealing with a calf injury. PPR upside does go to a McNichols this week. On the mid-level risk, 14 teams. I do like the play of him this week. Where Debo, still no Terry McLaurin. He's got a quad. They said questionable, but he's more doubtful than anything. I'll be shocked if he does play. I don't. When I did this show, I didn't have him on the injury report as a technical out, but I mean, I'm just going to say I don't think he's going to suit up anyway. Debo, fire him up everywhere he got him. He's been absolutely stellar, like I said. What a great pick that was for us. Where Luke McCaffrey continues to turn my head. Just want to see more targets go to his direction. And rookie Jalen Lane, he's starting to make some waves on the kick returns as well. High-level risk. We're not playing it, but at least there is upside for him now moving with hopefully more targets in this offense. And Zach Ertz has been a disappearing act. Low floor. This could be a big bounce-back game for him. I got him on the mid-level risk. Hopefully it does happen. They're going to have to utilize him at some point, but Debo and JCM have been doing the business. So, I mean, Zach Ertz has been afterthought in this offense. But there you have it. That is week number 6. Starts Atlanta advice. I got you covered. Let's get those dubs. I'm telling y'all, man, the season goes quicker and quicker, so we got to get these wins where we can get them. And I'm telling you, drop your start sit questions. I got you covered. I will answer everybody back. That's a promise. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. Let's get those dubs, and good luck this week. I'm out.